First in high definition. Live, local, late breaking. This is WMBF News Today at 5.
WMBF News Today has been tracking the winter weather conditions overnight for you. We've got some video that we're showing you right here of what's come down overnight on the roads and what you might be dealing with as you head out the door this morning.
To help you prepare, the First Alert team is both inside and outside our studios. Robert is in Lumberton, and Marla starts our team coverage right now with changes to the winter weather advisory.
That's right. That winter weather advisory now extends a little bit, not just in its coverage area, but its time. First, though, I got to kick things off with the radar. I want to show you exactly what we're dealing with out there. First off, dealing with a little bit of freezing rain and a freezing rain to just plain old rain mix across our North Carolina counties. That extends down into Marlboro County and even parts of Darlington County. Notice temperatures in these locations are right at or just below freezing. Marion, we're also going to be closely watching the roads for you as your temperature has just dropped to 32. Now, as you head into Conway, 36 degrees. So temperatures safely above freezing for now in Conway, but these temperatures are going to start falling throughout the morning. Where we're not seeing any issue at all, check this out. We're almost at 60 degrees in Myrtle Beach right now. It is a huge temperature drop from 501 in Myrtle Beach just up to Conway. And then, of course, right along freezing along the border belt. Now, as we zoom in, Lumberton mainly getting a mix of rain and freezing rain heading in down I-95 into Florence, just plain rain. But Darlington, you're right there on that border as far as getting some freezing rain and then some heavy rain at times along the Grand Strand. And not only is it heavy rain, but it's also very windy for the beaches as well. That's going to reduce your visibility. So even though we're not dealing with the ice for the Grand Strand, we have a whole nother set of problems. Here is that winter weather advisory. This goes until noon today because, again, those temperatures are dropping. And notice it even includes inland Horry County, mainly because of right along the county line from Marion. We're already starting to see some of that, those temperatures dropping. Now, these temperatures have dropped over the past 2 hours from 57 in Conway down to 36 now in Conway, just to show you that trend and how fast things are changing. And staying on top of those changes is Robert. He is out in Lumberton. And Robert, what are you seeing now? It's been all over the place.
Yeah, the one thing that we have seen really since we arrived late last night is temperatures have been pretty close to the freezing mark here and beginning to see that ice accumulate mostly on elevated surfaces, so on the power lines above us, on the trees. In fact, every once in a while we hear kind of a crackle and a fall as some of these limbs are falling. Now, the good news is, at least so far, now a live look out on Interstate 95, DOT crews have been doing a pretty good job keeping it clear. In fact, you'll notice the cars moving at a pretty good pace here, and if you wait just a couple more seconds here, you'll see the DOT crews I was just mentioning going down the interstate. So they're making pretty good rounds here. Even the side road here, the little kind of frontage road along 95, it's wet, but it is not frozen. I think the big thing we need to watch for, you can be headed out before the sun rises, those limbs that have fallen into the roads. Some of those darker roads, you're likely not going to see them until you're right on top of them. So traveling this morning, maybe not a good idea. Hold off for a little bit. Again, expected to climb above freezing here as we had a couple hours after sunrise. I'll have another update coming up here in another 30 minutes. Live in Lumberton, I'm First Alert meteorologist Robert Whitehurst.
Bit of a mess out there, Robert. Thank you for that update. Due to the changing conditions, of course, in the upstate and near the North Carolina state lines, the South Carolina Department of Transportation has sent more crews to treat Interstates 85, 385, 26 and 77. So here's the deal. Officials are asking that you stay off those interstates unless it's absolutely necessary. This also means primary and secondary roads may be icy until at least mid-morning.
And for those of you who do have to get out onto the roads, the ice, the sleet, of course, the rain can all make driving conditions very dangerous. So how do we drive safely?
So Raycom News Network reporter Felicia Bolton went behind the wheel with a stunt driver to get some tips.
Skidding, swirling, and sliding across these wet roads are a major problem. I went behind the wheel with professional stunt driver Max Maxwell. He first showed me the right way, then the common mistakes.
And in this stuff, you really have to back off, and you've got to pay attention to what you're coming up to.
Maxwell is the owner of a driving school and has been a professional stunt driver for more than 25 years. He says the biggest mistake we make when driving is speeding. Going too fast and not leaving enough distance between them and a car in front of them, and not anticipating coming down hills, coming up on stuff. A few minutes after after my lesson from Max, these drivers showed up and took to the wet weather as an opportunity for fun and breaking the first safety rule we learned. Another safety tip is to follow the tracks of the car in front of you. These tracks will help create more traction when driving. Maxwell says when it comes to pumping the brakes, a gentle push is the way to go.
So you want to brake smooth, but you also want to brake always in a straight line. So you need your wheels perfectly straight before you start to brake.
Well, another major safety tip from that stunt driver: if you end up skidding, be sure to go into the direction of the skid. So if the car is skidding to the left, then turn the wheel to the left. If it's going to the right, of course, turn the wheel to the right.
Well, our team coverage continues now with a look at who's waking up without power this morning in the PD. According to Duke Energy's website, right now 739 customers in Marlboro are in the dark, and just north of them in Bennettsville, well, we're kind of zooming in on your screen there, but you can see those icons. In Bennettsville, about 300 customers are being affected, and more than 400 people in North Hartsville, 126 in Lumberton, are without power this morning. We're going to keep you up to date right here and online at WNBFnews.com. Just look for this story on the homepage. David and Theo, back to you.
All right, thank you, Mandy. Well, there are also some school delays that you need to know about this morning. New from overnight, Scotland County and Darlington County schools will be on a 2-hour delay for staff and students. Marlboro County school districts will be on a 2-hour delayed schedule for staff and students. Bus pickup times will also be on a delay. No breakfast is being served to students. In Robeson County, the public schools open 2 hours late for all students and staff. That delay includes early morning primetime child care. Robeson Community College will also be on a 2-hour delay as well.
5:06 right now, and this morning we are learning new details about the city's Memorial Day game plan to keep locals and visitors safe.
Katrina Helmer joins us live in the studio. Katrina, you're finding out that there are some big efforts underway right now when it comes to our city pedestrians.
Well, police are planning massive efforts to help control pedestrian traffic, especially along Ocean Boulevard. Here's a look at part of the plan. Police are going to be adding special barricades all the way from 29th Avenue North all the way down to 29th Avenue South. And according to Myrtle Beach Police operational plan, the barricades will keep foot traffic on designated pedestrian walkways. They'll also be used to block all avenues and street ends along the traffic loop. There will also be water-filled barricades used to address traffic congestion at specific locations. These barricades will form chutes at the entrance to the traffic loop at 29th North and Kings Highway. Now, barricades will be up at Harleston Boulevard and on access avenues to prohibit turnaround traffic as well. And besides funneling pedestrians down the right sidewalks, police are also wanting to make sure visitors are comfortable and happy. Every officer, volunteer, and security worker will be easily identifiable, trained, and equipped to help direct people. They are reinforcing a fair, firm, and friendly message in hopes of building rapport with visitors.
It's an extension of our community policing philosophy. We're going to ask everybody that comes to visit our city all year round to come, have fun, be safe, but follow the law. We're not going to tolerate the violence this year, and we will enforce the laws fair, but we're going to be friendly about it, and we're going to be firm.
They are also utilizing unarmed security services for the weekend. The city has accepted a bid from Coastal Protective Services for 190 private officers and 14 supervisors. These hired officers will man the barricades to free up our local police officers. Live in the studio, Katrina Helmer, WNBF News.
Katrina, thank you for that. New this morning, the violent crime rate in Florence is actually going down. This according to the latest reports from the FBI. Their investigators say the Florence area has long been among the 10 worst metro areas in the state for violent crime. They believe it's due to gang violence. However, between 2009 and 2013, the violent crime rate dropped nearly 39%. Many of you in the area say it's due to new police programs that are increasing patrols in areas known to be dangerous. Right now, police looking for a woman they say spit and pushed a Belk customer using her chest in Conway. The victim told police it started because two women cut in the checkout line. That's when she said something happened with the pair. The suspect told the woman that she would be waiting for in the parking lot. The police say they are looking at security video of the incident. If you know anything about the case, give the Conway Police Department a call.
And an update for you right now. A man wanted for 2 counts of malicious injury to personal property and credit card fraud is behind bars. The Georgetown County Sheriff's Office tells us Chad Cribb turned himself in Monday morning. Cribb is currently in custody and awaiting a bond hearing at the Georgetown County Detention Center. A crash has killed a Myrtle Beach woman. We first told you about this accident on US 378 at the PD intersection right here on WMBF News Today. Well, the Horry County coroner tells us that the victim is 32-year-old Melanie Boyer. Officials with South Carolina Highway Patrol say Boyer failed to yield the right-of-way in front of another car, and she wasn't wearing a seatbelt. That crash is still under investigation.
In a developing story for you, Club Levels in Myrtle Beach is considered a public nuisance. This according to Solicitor Jimmy Richardson. He says that his office is already looking into the club before the shooting, which left one man dead there Sunday morning. Myrtle Beach Police Department tells us they've responded to the club several times for drug use, assaults, and liquor violations. The club owner has been served by the solicitor's office and has 10 days to clean up the club. A judge will now look through the evidence to determine if Club Levels is indeed considered a public nuisance by law. If it is, the club could be shut down for up to a year. You can get your tax returns filed for free starting today at Coastal Carolina University. The Tax Assistance Program runs through April 2nd in room 204 of the E. Craig Wall building there on campus. You can stop by on Tuesdays from 4:30 to 7 or Thursdays from 2 to 7. Accounting students at the university will be able to prepare and file your tax returns for those of you earning less than $53,000 a year. Keep in mind, though, the students will be on spring break from March 9th through the 13th. You are asked to bring a photo ID, Social Security card, and of course, all your tax information.
All right, well, you can also get some help with elder law issues, including long-term care, planning, insurance, and Medicaid tonight. A free legal clinic is being held at the North Myrtle Beach Library. This one starts at 6:30. That's on First Avenue South. There will be a 45-minute presentation followed by a question and answer session.
In Lumberton, looking at some icy conditions for your morning commute. I'm back here with a live update at 5:30.
And back at the beach, don't let the warm temperatures outside fool you. They are expected to fall later this morning. The First Alert forecast taking you through the next 24 hours is coming up.
It's Dancing and Romancing Part 2. The big Broadway event is back on February 21st. The Rotary